Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to Talking Horses. Acacia Clement alongside Maggie Wolfendale as everybody's sick, so we're pinch hitting today. But I'm excited. I don't think you and I have gotten to do Talking Horses together in
a long
years.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while. So,
Yeah.
don't judge my handicapping today. I was really pinch hitting.
You were
with
very
about
last
2
minute.
hours
Yeah.
to post here. So yeah, we'll have fun. We'll roll with it
Yeah.
as we usually do.
Yeah, we'll make it work. So thanks for joining us on this Sunday afternoon as we have some stuff for you. If you're not signed up for Naira Bets, this is the perfect
somebody say
opportunity to
stuffing?
do so.
I could use
I
some more
know, right?
stuffing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Is
right?
that your favorite?
I
That's
do
my
love
favorite
the stuffing.
That's
I
my
do.
favorite side.
It's so good.
I
I actually made Dolly Parton's sweet potato casserole this year.
Oh, you're gonna have to give me that
Highly
recipe.
recommend. There's a lot of butter
marshmallows?
with marshmallows.
Oh,
100% with marshmallows. You put them in the
totally up my
broiler and they
alley.
get crispy.
Oh, yes.
So good.
All right.
Anyway,
Recipe show.
Naira Bets. Bonus 200 is your code. Sign up. Get up to a $200 deposit match bonus. Check out all the details at nairabets.com. We have track stats for you as well. Also, find all that action over at nairabets.com. Bet smarter, win bigger. Bet all the action weekly with track trends, statistics, and betting insights. There's a $25 bonus going on. You can bet $75 on Aqueduct Sundays and get a $25 bonus on Final Sunday. I'm guessing that's next Sunday, right?
Oh yeah, for the fall meet.
For the fall meet.
That's what it is.
Ending after Cigar Mile.
Mhm.
Right.
Yep.
So check out nairabets.com for all that information. But make sure you take part in that bonus. A fun rewards points for Hong Kong, which is exciting. Earn 10 times reward points on Hong Kong every race day in December, getting closer to that HKIR day over there in Hong Kong.
Do you
which
ever
is
play
just
the
amazing.
guess which horse that is? I think
I
they've
do.
used two
I do
Dave
love that.
Duggan horses back to back. What do you think? Who do you think that is?
Is that...
I thought that was drafted, but that's probably
That
a
would
bad
be an
guess.
old photo, though. But
Yeah.
that would be... It could be a Dave Duggan horse.
I don't know.
Oh,
The one before
we're gonna have to find that
definitely
out
was.
now. Now
The
that
one
sounds good
before
fun.
definitely was. Sunday
Usually,
Girl,
yeah,
I think.
usually I do like
Yeah.
that game. So make sure you play Hong Kong. That's pretty fun. And then today, America's Day at the races. We kick off at 12 p.m. We're in FS1 all day. I'll start things off with Richard Rigliori and Maggie for race one. So
That's my favorite team.
Yeah, I know. Me too. We're all the horse people. We'll start things off here with the maiden special weight, going 6.5 furlongs. This is for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. And early Maggie, the first-time starter, Truth and Beauty, is taking a lot of money. I totally guessed. It was in large part because I know that shoplifting is the horse to beat.
I
but
reluctantly
it's
took her.
just it's hard. I mean, it's just really hard. I feel like there have been days when I've really been feeling strong about shoplifting, and she just hasn't been able to get it done.
I know, and I'm hoping that with a more compact field, it will allow her to be just a little bit closer to the pace, which I think, could be beneficial for her as she'll turn back just a half a furlong. But you'd have to think with the money, with that sharp breeze coming in here, that Truth and Beauty, the first-time starter, is going to have speed.
You would think so. She comes in with some pretty quick work. She went 21 flat at the OBS April 2-year-old sale over a year and a half ago. So it was a long time. Sometimes it's funny because she's debuting at 6.5. And I was wondering, because usually, sometimes when they work a quarter instead of an eighth at those 2-year-old sales, they want longer. And she looked like she just took some time to get going.
Okay.
Obviously, it's a long time since that workout, so we'll see what she can do. But
I thought the pedigree suggested that, sprinters, but some of the best races, especially from the dam, came sprinting on the turf.
I know.
So we'll see. Yeah. A rare Joel Politti homebred.
Yeah, that he's
Too
sold.
many that he,
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So. But a cool story in here is obviously Amelia Green's first-time starter.
Exactly, and they paid $120,000 for this horse at the Keeneland November horses of racing age portion of that. And this horse has run fine. You kind of have to go back and isolate her fast dirt sprints, and it kind of still leaves you guessing. Who kind of shows up? Clearly doesn't like a wet track or a real sloppy one. I thought she was on the good rail throughout in her last at Keeneland. the part I didn't like is that when she tipped out to the clear, and maybe that was why she could never get past that horse, but she still could never reel in the horse that was doing the dirty work, where it was a first-time starter who kind of weaved in and out of traffic
Yeah.
that got the job done. So, and she was a beaten favorite that day. I thought she should have done just a touch more running for me to take a somewhat short price in here, but look, she doesn't meet the strongest
No.
maiden special weight field
No.
ever.
She doesn't. And I think we had a replay on that last race, but no.
Eddie,
Eddie's
holla
asleep.
for $1.
Yeah, it's okay. It's
Yeah.
because Andy's not here. Eddie's missing Andy.
We did not get that video on command.
We did not.
Yeah.
I like what you did there. So there she is in the shadow roll there. And yeah, she does kind of flatten out. My question with her too is that in sprinting, she kind of gets run off her feet a bit early. She's able to show more speed when going longer and kind of getting into it.
What was funny about
Yeah.
this race, you're right, because she doesn't break that alertly.
Yeah.
And then he kind of had to gig her into the race. And when he did that, then she was like kind of running off
Yeah.
behind heels. So at least she
We'll
gets
see.
to be on the outside today.
I agree. And we wish Amelia all the best. Of course,
Yes.
longtime assistant for Todd Pletcher and many others. A really,
Life
really
is
talented
good.
horsewoman.
Yeah,
Regular
Henry
rider.
Cecil before she
Yeah.
came to America. Yeah.
So we wish her all the best. Race 2, another dirt sprint. This one's an allowance race for the 2-year-old fillies. And so, oftentimes, Maggie, this time of year, we will start to get a chance to see some of these 2-year-old allowance races. You don't see them much. It's either they're trying to break their maiden or they go right into stakes. There's not really that many options because they don't really have anywhere else to go.
Right. Yeah.
So we'll take a look at the 3 Viamente winning and breaking her maiden. I'm sure that Joe Sharp is really happy that this race came up and he didn't have to put her in a stake because she did have to take a significant drop in class and she far laid over that field.
Well, exactly. And it
Yeah.
was not the greatest
No.
field
No.
ever. But it's funny because, she was kind of highly regarded. Look, bet to what, 1-2, first
Yeah.
time out. Bellicose, who hasn't really, maybe, she was just cranked up to win Bellicose first time out, but really hasn't panned out that well overall. Viamente, she has, a little bit of tactical speed. It looks as though there's going to be 2 others maybe that go out in front of her here. So maybe she gets the right kind of setup overall. But neither you and I overly thrilled with her because, like you said, I think she might face some horses maybe with a little bit more upside than
I
what
think
she
so
faced
too.
last time.
I think so too. I think it's a far better field than what she won against last time out. You'll go to Broadway Lights. We'll look at her last race as she comes out for Brad Cox, where it just seems like pretty much everything that he's brought here to New York has been well spotted and running well.
Well, and even too, I mean, a little shout out to his assistant here, Dustin Dugas.
Yeah.
I admittedly am friends with Dustin, but he's just done a tremendous job with his string here. But like you said, even this horse coming in has just faced, I think, better horses.
And I think Bookham won yesterday again.
Yeah,
right?
by
You won this
11
race?
lengths.
Yeah.
In a second level allowance type of condition. Rosado came back and won 2. So look, Broadway Lights at the end of the day was just second best behind Bookham, but I think that horse has obviously shown to have a bit of talent, though still a little bit green as we just saw there. But I know this horse is turning back. You're kind of forced, like you said, because there's not many options, forced into what the distances are written. But I don't think is going to get totally left and out sprinted here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take a little shot with Shady Side, who I thought won nicely last time out, kind of in a pressing spot. Second place finisher, Nilo's Rose, came back to win with a 57. I think it was an okay race that she won last time, but I think that she's a filly that's progressing. And I know that she wanted a big price, but she took a lot of money first time out. And so I think that there might be some ability there that maybe she just needed some starts to get going.
Yes, that first race at Monmouth. You've seen her. Did you see her?
Richie was in the paddock for his last race.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But
that
he
was
spoke highly of her.
my thing with her is that I really liked the way that she moved over the slot.
Interesting.
So I want to see her
Yeah.
do it on a fast track,
Yep.
which she gets today.
Yeah, we'll see how she handles that. But Viamente will take some money off that open length score last time out. Race 3, a 6 furlong sprint, non-winners of 2 for 16,000. And I actually had thought that this was about Gentle Breeze, so I'm very disappointed that he
Correct.
scratched in here
we both
because
have
I
scratched
really
into these
liked
horses.
him.
Yes, absolutely,
Yes.
100%.
And I guess the conversation now kind of revolves around Final Denial, who I like going shorter, but it
Yes.
is a big drop in class.
It's a big drop in class.
Yeah.
I wonder if, and you can probably speak more to this, if the Broman or Chester is wanting to kind of phase things out.
Yeah, I don't know actually.
Okay.
I don't know anything about this horse. He ran in the same race as Landoro last time, who's also for the Bromans. And Landoro was a horse that they'd been kind of waiting to run. Unfortunately, when Mrs. Broman passed away, you had to wait, get all the licensing set with the estate. And so Landoro was able to win that race, and Final Denial just was really disappointing. So I'm wondering if it's kind of that time of year, big drop in class, but I think we both agree less distance should help.
Absolutely. He doesn't want any part of going long. The problem with him, though, is that he's a closing sprinter. I don't think we're going to rewrite the, script here for him in that he wants some pace to close into. Now, I don't know if he really gets it today, but then again, class can be such a mitigating factor when it comes to distance.
Yeah, just facing much better on turf and dirt recently. I scratched into Very Funny. We'll take a look at his race 2 starts back. This is
you have Final Denial on top. You have Final Denial on top.
Didn't I?
Oh, you have Final Denial on top. Very
Did
Funny,
I?
but we're flip-flop.
Yeah.
I scratched into Very Funny.
Yeah.
Did
No,
you
I
mean
picked the
to
2 on top.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's fine.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. It's whatever.
We like the exact
Here's Very Funny. We like these 2 horses. A reclaim for Linda Rice.
Yeah, reclaim for Linda. Now, she does drop him to the 16. Clearly, though, Linda plays the claiming game so well. And she knew that she lost him for 16 way back when in February, and he still didn't win. So I think she's just being logical with a horse who really loves to run third.
I know.
But I'm hoping that Kendrick gets this horse in the game, because I think he is better when he can lay closer. And he is going to have to turn back, so he's going to have to be aggressive. He's just a very one-paced individual. So the closer you can keep him to the pace, the better your outcome's going to be in the end. But I think overall his body of work on and his numbers on the dirt are a bit better than what he faces here. Are they going to be better than Final Denial? I'm not sure. But I just thought with Very Funny, as you too, I'm sure we're intrigued by the reclaim.
Yeah, an interesting reclaim. And then I think the wild card is Freeze Pop, who comes back off a big layoff. And I had notes. This horse scratched in August of 2023. It was a late scratch. Just wasn't warming up well at all that day. For Flying P, and was Robertino Diodoro at the time. So we do see him come back here. He has speed. He had run some races that would make him competitive. Just don't know what to do with him off the big layoff.
And wow, this is a spotty work tab coming back. And I mean, sometimes with these older horses, you don't have to do as much to get them fit. But like you said, the late scratch, the June to September, only one work in September, back in October, only one work then. And then, we're now December 1st, and he really only has 2 breezes in the last month. So, yes, could he win here? Sure.
Yeah.
Is he better with more ground? Is this a race just to get him going, because they've had a lot of stops and starts? So we both treaded lightly with him.
Yes. We'll see what he can do in the third. Race 4 is a New York bred first level allowance. And who will step forward in this race? I scratch into the 4 Runaway Joke. I was going to try to pick
Were you
against
gonna do it?
him.
Were you gonna, well, I was going to say, were you going to put Refugio on top?
I
strongly considered it.
Really considered it. I could not bring myself to pick Refugio.
14 for 30, second place.
I know that he will likely, even with some scratches, should likely get a good trip in here. But he just doesn't win.
He does it. He gets there. Even going back to that race 2 back, in which you think, well, maybe we'll forgive him because facing better horses. He set a perfect trip and just couldn't do it. And I do agree that Two Eagles River, once upon a time, was a stakes type horse. So he does get class relief here, but he just refuses to seal the deal.
He just does not want to do it. The 4 Runaway Joke has won his last 5 races. We'll take a look at
Finger Lakes.
Finger Lakes, exactly.
Granted, he has one fast race at Churchill. I'll give him that.
He does.
But outside of that,
no.
His other races at other tracks. Now, yes, this is going to be his first time running at NYRA. As a New York bred, I wasn't willing to take a short price.
No,
but
he
is speed, and I don't think, there's anybody to really apply that much pressure to
Yeah.
him. So I get it.
The 7 scratch out of here, who likely might have been the one to put a little bit of pace pressure on. He won it 2-5 last time out, and honestly, the lead was diminishing in the stretch there. But we'll see. I mean, he's in good form. You certainly can't knock what he's done lately. I'd actually originally tried to take a shot with Very Stormy. He's out. Thought you could make a case for 2 for Charging, who's also out. So let's hear it on Brick Ambush.
I've always liked this horse. He was coming back off of a layoff, and he was just too far back.
Yeah.
He kind of stayed on Miley behind 2 horses in Sandy Sweet Tooth and Stewie, who just ran 1-2 around the racetrack. So I'm going to forgive him and hope that he gets back, back in action a little bit more here, second off of that layoff. So, like I said, I think it's more me just being a bit of a fan of this horse. And I don't know. I mean, I guess they should make Runaway Joke the favorite in here. So I thought maybe I'd get a little bit of love, a little bit of a price on Brick Ambush, but not with the scratches.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Kind of. Those 2 seem to be the class of the field, or if Perfua can get his act together. Race 5, a New York bred maiden special weight, going a mile for the 2-year-old fillies. And Andy pulled a turf race back on September 13th, and it shows Willful Mama and On a Summer Day. And I do think that it's worth showing because Willful Mama.
I was just gonna say, this is such not an Andy move.
I know, it's really not. And that's why I said Andy did this. Andy did it, not me, not Maggie. Willful Mama is the house sister to Rodney and My Main Squeeze, and yet she genuinely improved on the turf.
Because she's a War of Will.
Yeah.
But, oh my gosh, I'm completely forgetting. It was Dave Doncourse. Was it Dave Doncourse that won on the turf? No, I can't remember. It was some War of Will that won on the dirt. I can't remember whose it was.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, and I think they did that. But I also feel like that was a tough race, in her debut, obviously with the Angels, undefeated so far. And like you said, My Main Squeeze, she's a half sister to hit her, too. So there's so much dirt pedigree. And so often Mike Maker's horses just need a start. So I'm going to say, no, I didn't put her on top, but I'm going to say that she's going to run better than that first dirt race suggests.
I think so, too. Yeah. I think so, too. I think you can certainly make a big case for her. As far as the 6, Kara's Dreamweaver, who you have on top, she moved to the dirt last time out, and she faced Bernie on the Rose, who actually came back and won really nicely in her subsequent start.
She
with
did
the
regress
66.
a little bit.
She did.
Just a little bit.
She did, but she won by open lengths.
Easy,
But it just felt to me, and I think Kara's Dreamweaver makes a lot of sense. She just seems like such a grinder.
Yeah, she doesn't have much early speed. You really have to stay after her. I get it. But I also thought with the mile, that should help her out a little bit. So she had that trouble around the turn. Actually, the horse who finished 3rd, Material Girl, she cut her off pretty significantly, like just past the 3/8 pole. And I thought she stayed on well after that. So just like you said, indicating she's a grinder, indicating that a little bit more ground's going to actually help her. So, and I thought the price would be right. Does pick up Jose Lascano.
Yeah, I'm taking a little shot with the 4, Lady Wisdom. I know that her last turf race was better, but honestly, I think it's distance more than anything, more than surface.
Yes.
I had written down in her first race, or even last time out, that she looked like a big, leggy, just wants a lot of ground. I think you saw in her first race.
I did. I said weaker top line looks like long.
Yep.
So
I think distance is more that than the surface.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think I just hope that she's strengthened up a bit because, as we often say, you need to be a stronger frame, a stronger physical to handle the dirt as opposed to the turf.
Yeah. And then the 8, Dream Workin', I think, there's not a ton you can really say except for the fact that Rick Dutro's barn has just been everything sending out is running.
55%. Oh my goodness. So yeah, and then 2, Boston's Finest isn't a slouch. She ran 2nd behind with the Angels with a 73 buyer, so improving her stats there a bit. We'll see. Have you seen her in the paddock? I haven't seen her.
Nope,
Okay.
I haven't.
We'll see if she improves with more ground Boltor out of a Kitten's Joy mare.
Yeah.
So you can understand.
I know.
Going to the
I
turf
know.
in the second start.
Out of egg roll. I like that name.
Yeah. I know.
We talked a lot about food so far on the show. We'll
do you
take
want to talk about the first time starter? At
Oh,
all?
we should. Yes, we should. Giant at work. An Alfred homebred debuting. Okay production, but all the siblings have just taken a long time to win.
Yeah, I didn't love the bottom side of this pedigree. It's a good second generational pedigree. Obviously you have Moonlight Song and Giant Moon in there. That the dam is full to.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's hard for me to take first time starters at a mile.
Agreed.
You know?
Not an easy place to start. So we'll see how she handles it. Race 5, we take a break, right, Eddie?
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a quick time out, hear from our sponsors, and be back with more Talking Horses after this.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome back to Talking Horses with Acacia and Maggie as we're moving on to the 6th race. And yeah, kind of crazy. Next week, Cigar Mile.
Yeah.
I'll be in Jamaica actually, which is really exciting.
Me
for
and
the
Jamaica. We can meet him, Acacia. No, I'm
Routine Mile. Well, I'm really sad to miss the Cigar Mile because
Yeah, I
if
thought about that too.
everybody
Yeah.
shows up that looks like they're
I know.
supposed to.
I
it's
do
gonna be
love
an
this
awesome
day
race.
of racing
Yeah, it's such a good
at
day of
Alfred's.
racing.
Yeah,
it
and
really
you see
is.
a lot of talent. I mean,
do.
look at last year's Renson.
I know.
And what that produced, a Breeders'
Yeah.
Cup Classic winner and a Belmont Stakes
know.
winner. So, yeah, I always look forward to the Cigar Mile and those undercard races,
Yeah.
too. So, enjoy Jamaica. Have you been before?
I have not. I've
No,
not.
I've never been to
Andy
Jamaica
and Rajiv got to go last year.
Right.
So Andy and I will be there this year for
All
the
right.
Routine Mile.
Well,
so,
enjoy
yeah,
it.
pretty exciting stuff. So we'll
Yeah,
be
I'll
showing
be
that on our
freezing.
Fox show as well. It was cold in the paddock yesterday. I was
Yeah,
missing you.
Veronica's the best. She got
Hand warmers. I know.
Yeah.
They're so nice.
so nice.
Looking
Mine are on
after
charge.
us.
I wish I kind of had them right now because it's really cold in here.
It is really cold in here. Race 6 is a New York bred maiden special weight for 3-year-olds, and we both go to the same horse with the 9 DC boys.
This is a scratch into event.
Me too.
Yeah.
Executive Move is out in this race as well, so kind of a significant scratch. But as far as DC Boys is concerned, a horse that did improve last time out, getting some more distance, and I know it was an off the turf race, but just one that I thought could potentially continue trend in the right direction.
Yeah, he just wants the ground. I thought that the last time, and I know he's coming off a little bit of a break here, so hopefully he's ready to go. But Tomicon just wired the field that day, and then the rest of the field, the ones that kind of make sense are turf horses.
Yeah.
So then there's Ironman Ira, but for a barn that has been going so well, this horse was bad last time.
No, he was. And he's had a lot of chances too with Ironman Ira.
For a barn that you expect to get it done.
Yeah. You've got, you like Dade Bright Delights a little bit. This is a horse who will try the dirt for the first time. And there's, like you said, there's several in this race. It's that time of year where trainers figure out if their horses can handle the dirt, especially being New York breds throughout the races for the winter.
Yeah, and the dam, she was better on the turf, but this horse is half to a 4 times dirt winner. I know. I don't love the fact that this horse has been exclusively on the turf, but I mean, who else are we going to take in here? I mean, if anything, English Castle, who's in the same type of situation, that's a way
All
more turf pedigree. Right.
Yes. English Channel out of a Rock of Gibraltar mare.
Yeah.
And then you've got the first time starter, Baron of Sealand, but there's just really not much to sink your teeth into.
More of a
with that
turf
pedigree. Yeah.
So I'm like, what's going on here? And Danny
know.
Gargan, only debuting 5 horses going a mile. or more in the past 5 years, and 3 of which were in turf races that were taken off with no wins.
Yeah.
1 second and 1/3. There's Van Vollenhoven. This isn't a great pedigree from an overall standpoint, but there's a little bit of dirt in there, and I
And
thought
did debut against Open Company.
right, and
Yeah.
ran well enough on the turf, albeit. So there's a little bit of interest there. I mean, this is just the lesser of the evils, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Into DC
It's a
boys.
good way to put it.
Yeah.
So we'll see if this might be DC Boys' day. Race 7 furlong starter allowance for fillies and mares. And Pam Pam, she scratched the other day in a race where
Tougher
she
spot.
looked like she was going to be live, but we do see that pretty often.
And
from
she was
Linda
part of an
Rice. And
entry.
she was part of an entry.
And the horse that she was, I mean, this is so Linda. Like, I'm surprised she left one of them in the first race. Today, but that was a short field, so I get it. But yeah, Pam Pam was with Sarir.
Yeah.
Who by herself actually took a lot of money in that race. I think ended up, second?
Yeah. something like that.
So, yeah, it feels like Pam Pam more suited to this condition because she ran for cheaper than what Sarir had. I scratched into her. I mean,
Me
this
too.
is just
Me
the
too.
3rd or 4th race on the card, right?
I
My
know, me
top
too.
pick scratch. So, look, she has tactical speed. I think that makes her very dangerous here. This race has been depleted quite a bit overall.
And some of the early speed that it looked like might develop comes out a little bit too.
Right.
So it should help Pam Pam.
Exactly.
Yeah. We'll take a look. We have a replay on the 9 Spiritual Lady. She is going to be the one I would imagine that will be in front. I thought that she could have some company in here. Now with the scratches, we'll see how it plays out. She does win last time out. That was for Dave Dong. She's now off the claim for Jimmy Ferraro. She steps up into starter allowance company. So we'll see what she does, but she did win impressively.
She did. By 4 here, going quite easily. Balenciaga Betty did come back and win for 16 with a regression in her buyer. So it's not like she was super flattered by that. But like you said, it may be apples and oranges because she just looks so much better than her competition that day. But Jimmy Ferraro, this is the time of year his barn does start doing well. So I wouldn't. I respect her. I have her 3rd in here. I was a little intrigued by 13 Red Flags. Last time, wired by Ariana Rye. And before that, Just Facing, I thought overall kind of just better horses in her dirt races at least. So maybe this is an opportunity for her to get back on track, build upon that effort. What was only, 2 weeks ago? So we'll see how she does. And we're basically the same here.
Yeah. With the scratches, this race, I think the dynamics changed as well.
Racehorse, but I mean, I feel like she's going to be best suited if she's forward in here, switching back to the
Next
dirt.
on
But
stage,
I don't see her being fast enough to do so going 7.
No, and not cutting back in distance.
Right.
Yeah, agreed. So we'll see how that plays out in race number 7. Race 8 today, I think a race on the card that a lot of people are looking forward to see what Julia Shining can do. Obviously, the full sister to Malathot. We haven't seen her since May, though, in the DuPont So Preakness weekend. And she was a horse that started off being pretty precocious, Maggie. And I know that she's faced good company, but she's had quite a few stops and starts in her races as well, and now comes back off yet another layoff.
I know, but definitely gets the class relief that I think she's been begging for. But then again, you look at her race 2 back, which was an allowance field where she was odds on at Keeneland, and she still couldn't get it done.
Yeah. This is her finishing second to Raging Sea in the Comley last year. So a year ago for this race, and obviously Raging Sea would go on to become a Grade 1 winner this summer, run second in the distaff, a horse that improved vastly. So certainly flattered there. And Julia Shining also has to run a mile off the layoff too, a little bit less.
Exactly.
She's a grinder.
And she's such a grinder. She just often leaves herself so much to do. And with, I know there's been some scratches in here, but there's some real speed to her inside with Smoking Hot Kitty and especially Golden Degree, who has no choice but to go here. And so maybe that does create a scenario in which the pace evaporates. I don't know. That would be in her best interest. But again, is that going to be too much of a gap for her to fill, to sustain? So we both opted to go with Todd's other horse in here, Corb, who I've kind of been low-key a fan of. I really liked her in the Wilton. I don't know what necessarily happened in the Catherine Sevilla other than she just was too far back and never picked up her feet. Parks is a weird place. Some horses love it, some horses hate it. But first time with Lasix now. Switching surfaces out of that Sands Point, I've liked her, and I think this is the right spot for her.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I think that she's kind of the other horse that you would want. And she is a closer as well, but she's less of that kind of deep grinding type that Julia Shining is. She can be a little bit more tactical. So I think that is to her benefit. We'll take a look at Golden Decree, who, as you mentioned, was dominant last time out. I mean, she rocketed out of the gate as well. She's also a horse, Maggie, that she gets so hot.
Yeah.
I think she really needs Lasix. I think
Fair.
that she's one that just does better when she has the Lasix.
Yeah,
I think
it
getting
was
it
a
back on
disaster
last
in the
time.
Galway,
Yeah,
off the
yeah,
turf.
absolutely.
I've never liked her going longer. I know.
I know, me neither. Me neither.
I know she broke her maiden in doing so, but that was a dreadful
Yes.
field.
Yes, it was.
I could have, finished second in there. So, yeah, I just don't trust her going longer. And, I mean, Smoking Hot Kitty's job, unfortunately, doesn't get any easier. But, at least she has shown the ability to be somewhat effective if she doesn't get the lead right away.
Yeah. Agreed. She's shown that, but she does have the rail with Golden Degree right to her outside. So I would find it hard to think that those two are not going to be, I mean, they're going to be forward for sure. One of them is going to be on the lead, if not dueling together. So we'll see how that pace plays out in the 8th. Race 9, New York bred maiden claiming 7 furlongs for the fillies and mares. And this is a race, I don't know about you, but I had a very tough time really liking anybody. So
You see, I went off the reservation with
yeah, let's hear it. When she's a natural.
Almost 6-year-old. Over
She's
28.
due. Yeah.
Just class.
Yeah.
You look at her dirt races, and I know they're not particularly fast, but she has just faced better horses in those races, and this is such a bad race.
Yeah, it's really hard.
I don't love the fact that she has no early speed. That's a problem. And maybe whoever gets to the lead in here, and
that was my
the end of
thinking
the
with
story.
follow your arrow.
And that's who's gonna
That
be on the
is
lead.
Christopher Elliott's only job. Blinkers
Yep.
on, just send.
Yep.
And that's my hope, is that just some of the others in here just don't really want to pass horses.
I get it.
And she's a quirky type, but I did notice that
Yes.
she was better last time than
Okay.
than she has been previously. She did the post parade normally. She acted well.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's a good sign. Is she a dirt horse? I don't know. She's by Balabali. But like I said, blinkers on, go to the front, and hopefully don't look back.
And two, she debuted against the boys, better horses on the dirt, and that was her lone dirt start. So she against this field, she definitely makes a good deal of sense.
Yeah.
Given her projected early speed, going the 7 furlongs here. Look, if you like somebody in here, good luck, have fun. It's not an easy race because Naughty Destiny, she's going to take money, right?
Yeah.
She's never been on the main track.
So I just want to point out that twice today, Andy Sterling pulled a turf race for a dirt race. So we'll look at Naughty Destiny's third last time out. Again,
you must have been desperate.
I must have. This is her
for-
finishing third, but I mean, she has much more of a turf pedigree.
Yeah.
She looks more like a turf horse, and we'll see what she does if she can handle it, because just on the quality of her races, she certainly will take attention.
Yeah, and she goes out for a barn who is frequently successful
Yep.
in Bill Morey. So there's a recipe for a turf horse to be overbet in a spot where don't take a short price on a horse doing something they've never done before. There was a part of me that thought about Dream on Kara because she's she's hit the board in the last 4.
I picked her second.
So I left her off in the end, but I thought about it.
Yep.
It's just that kind of race.
It is.
So,
yeah, we'll see. Somebody is going to break their maiden in race number 9. Maggie, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
talking horses.
likewise.
Together. Hopefully, we get to get a chance to do it again together one day soon. But just a reminder, we'll clean up some housekeeping before we wrap up here. Make sure you sign up with Naira Bets. You have that promo code BONUS200 for up to a $200 deposit match bonus. Sign up with promo code BONUS200 for at NairaBets.com. Track stats for you as well. You can get all the insight over at NairaBets.com as well. Bet smarter, win bigger. A $25 bonus today on Sunday. Bet $75 on Aqueduct Sunday. Get a $25 bonus on Final Sunday, which would be next weekend when the fall meet concludes. And a 10 times rewards bonus on Hong Kong every race day in December. So that's pretty fun as well. Be sure to opt in over at NyraBets.com.
Gotta be a night owl for that.
I know.
action.
Yeah, it's 12, 13-hour time difference.
Yeah.
It's like the exact opposite.
Yep.
Yeah, opt in at NyraBets.com. And then finally at 12 p.m. today, coverage starts FS1 all day on America's Day at the Races. Maggie and I will kick things off with Richard Migliori for the early show. Hope you'll join us. Thanks as always, and we'll send it over to Chris Griffin for a reprise of Scratches and Changes. He's just getting started on this Sunday.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.